Autel EVO Lite Plus Review. The Autel EVO Lite Plus robust airframe means it can comfortably tackle even tricky skies, while the 6K variable aperture camera captures gorgeous video. There are a good, if not perfect, range of smart tracking features and three-way collision sensing, but the real star here is the practicality and price. This is a top-end flying camera priced to appeal to prosumers and up. The camera drone market is ever-changing, but there are some trends. Since regulations made 250 grams a limit in many places, we've seen a lot of development in the ultralight category, while premium features have tended to debut at a higher weight, Autel EVO 2 or the DJI Mavic 3 being obvious examples. There is, however, a space between what is obviously a consumer market and the high-end pricing what we might call prosumer. This is a drone for customers who value features and quality, and are prepared to push over the 250 grams. That is where the EVO Lite steps in. But it is not a territory Autel has to itself. The drone is both price and feature competitive with the DJI Air 2s, which also sports a 1-inch sensor. In this review, we look specifically at the EVO Lite Plus, since that is the Plus model Autel was kind enough to lend us, but it shouldn't be forgotten that there are two versions with this airframe, a slightly cheaper one with a smaller sensor, which doesn't get the Plus at the end of its name. The Autel EVO Lite Plus drone is not a small one. In fact, this is where the comparison to the Mavic 3, which shares similar dimensions, makes more sense. Sat next to DJI's consumer flagship, the drone is a very similar size, though a little lighter at 820 grams. That is heavier than the Air 2s though, giving it better wind resistance, and since the weight comes from a 6175 mAh battery, theoretically up to 40 minutes in the air. Autel's drone offers a very different look from the DJI competitors too, and Autel even offers a degree of choice. We tested the white version, but the Lite and Lite Plus can also be had an Autel orange or a dark gray. In all cases, the build is a bit more industrial than you'd expect from DJI, especially the slightly taller legs, which are better for landing in grass and fit in the bag no problem, but might seem less streamlined than some would want. We'd opt for the extra height every time though. The arms are firmly sprung into place, resulting in a generous size of 427 x 384 x 95 mm when open. Above the gimbal, there are two eyes collision sensors and similar ones built into the rear and base of the drone. There are no side or top sensors, though, so you aren't protected all round. Autel's controller, which we've met before with the lightweight Nano, looks very like a game controller. So much so we can see old school professionals grumbling and muttering about kids and their newfangled ways. In practice, it fits very comfortably in the hands and stays there thanks to a textured grip. The extendable phone holder can comfortably grip even the largest phones. We got an iPhone Pro Max in a case in with no problems. The Autel radio system also manages an impressive 12 kilometers, 746 miles in the right conditions, so no concerns there. Moreover, we didn't encounter a single dropout during our testing. The live stream can reach to 7K where the signal is strong enough, which affords an excellent preview. We have to acknowledge that DJI claims 15 kilometers for their Mavic 3. But in practice, these drones are in the same territory in terms of range. While the very console-like controller shape is good to hold and operate, it seems to have less space for power than some competitors. We found it'll likely need charging every 3 or 4 flights. That's fine if you don't buy over 4 batteries and charge at the same time as the rest, and we're still looking at nearly 2 hours, but some others do last longer. The other oddity about the controller is that, like DJI devices, it features removable sticks, but once unscrewed there is nowhere to store them. If you have the premium bundle with the bag, you can use the pocket at the top, but this doesn't feel as solid as a dedicated slot in the controller. Something we must acknowledge DJI do score on. For a serious workflow, there is no doubt that the Lite Plus produces excellent images. The Lite Plus, which we tested, has a 2.811 aperture. The cheaper Lite has a 50MP camera with 1.9 aperture and 1.28-inch sensor which it can rotate on a 4-axis gimbal, so might be of interest to social media creators. The Lite Plus S camera captures 20MP, but from significantly larger 2.44mm photosites. If you're comparing against DJI's offerings, the Lite Plus S adjustable aperture is something the Air 2s isn't able to offer, but the Mavic 3 does. The other camera specs, both megapixels and microns, are retellings of the same figures as the Air 2s. Finally, the field of view, at 29mm EFL, is narrower than the Air 2's 22mm EFL, or the Mavic 3's 24mm. The relative benefit is a matter of personal perspective. Sorry, we found the Air 2's felt a bit too wide when reviewing it. No such issues with the Lite Plus. The standard Lite also packs phase and contrast detection focus, while the Lite Plus is only contrast-based. Focusing isn't as quick as we'd like either, and with the 1-inch sensor on the Lite Plus, there is the potential, in low light, to end up losing focus as you travel. On the plus side, the adjustable aperture gives you an option here lacking in the cheaper model. Autel describes the Lite Plus's video as 6K, which, in truth, is a bit of an exaggeration. 5472 x 3076 pixels is same as that DJI Call 5. 4K on the Air 2s. It is still more than the 1K 5120 x 2700 on the Mavic 3 and at 16.8 MP. Twice the pixel count of 4K video with his jaw dropping when watched on a monitor up to the job. The digital zoom with 2x and 4x options on screen provides the opportunity for a different field of view. While the 2x does lack some of the sharpness of the standard output, it seems adequate for output. You will spot some sharp aliasing on crisp lines at this scale, but the footage is still good. 4x, however, is another matter. What amounts to 4 megapixels of data becomes a softer image only really suitable for viewing in a smaller window, like an embedded YouTube player. The data rate for video is 120 megabits per second, slightly less than the 150 megabits per second of the DJI Air 2s, though it's not easy to see the difference. HDR is now available, a feature missing at launch, but there is no option to record 10-bit video. It is possible, however, to record a flat profile at 8-bit for later editing, similar to DJI's D-Log, a feature which was added later. But is there, we assure you. The practical upshot of this is you'll probably see some spikes in the histogram when grading video, but you've still got a good couple of stops of flexibility. It's a shame there is number 10-bit recording, but you do have 3x lossless scaling available in 4K. Which means video editors still have plenty of ways to ensure excellent finished output. Flying the drone is a breeze as you'd expect given the grip-friendly controller and annexation of your phone as a live view monitor. As with competing products, you need to download Autel's free app and connect it to the controller. A feature we liked on the Autel Nano is added here. The ability to narrate your flight to the video's audio via the phone microphone. While it does tend to pick up movement noise, this makes adding notes easy, and you can listen back when you play videos in the app. While Autel provides some tracking and smart shots, they feel like less able equivalents of those DJI offer with the Air 2s and Mavic 3. How often a professional user would actually benefit from these features is open to doubt anyway, so for most it won't be an issue. But attempting to use the subject tracking can be frustrating. The drone is distinctly hit and miss in the subjects it offers, highlights with a blue cross for you to track, and even if it works at first, it might well lose them soon. With higher contrast things worked better, and it was able to orbit areas on the ground like buildings or even a dock. The size, near 900 grams weight, and variable aperture puts the drone nearer the Mavic 3, while the price is significantly more attractive. It might lack the additional zoom camera of the Mavic 3 and the larger 4.3 sensor, but 1-inch is still very impressive and the long flight time is very useful in the field, which puts both a step above the Air 2s. The visual output is excellent and the camera options good, with the only real loss being that video is caught at 8-bit, 16.8 million colors, rather than 10-bit, 1 billion. There is still room to edit with the log profile, though, which will be enough for most pros. For our money we'd rather have the adjustable aperture. Which brings us to the ultimate point value. The Autel EVO Lite Plus Premium Bundle, with 3 batteries, UV filters and a bag costs around $1,800 £1,500, while the Mavic 3 Fly More Bundle is $2,849 £2,399. Given that, the Autel EVO Lite Plus seems to represent much better value than either of DJI's contenders, assuming you can live without a few tracking features.